Hi, my loves, it's Ro. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you like my content. So today I'm going to answer a question that I got from one of you amazing subscribers. I believe it was Kelly that asked, and I think it was just such a good idea for Adam to do this video with me. It's a day in the life of an inmate, and it's going to be basically a series. So today it's a normal weekday, not a holiday, not any type of off day, a lockdown day. We'll do another one that's a day in the life of somebody when they're locked into a cell for 24 hours a day for days on end. Oh, I'm so excited to do that one. But before we get started, a little bit low energy today. I'm right out of the gym. I've had a really stressful day at work, so I apologize for kind of being low energy. My faces are probably hysterical in the video because I was responding to things like, I had no idea if this poses any questions, which I think it might. Guys, put them in the comments below because I think this can open up a whole series of videos to explain these things to you guys and for you to ask questions and get them answered on both sides. If you have somebody inside, if you have somebody who's going inside, or if you're just trying to learn about this life. So that's it. I'm not going to waste any more time. Here is a day in the life of a federal inmate with Adam.
You want to hear what a typical weekday looks like?
I do.
Okay. Typically Monday through Friday. For me, I get up about 5:45, 6 o'clock. I get up before the doors open, get dressed, brush my teeth, use the bathroom, wash up, do everything pretty much in the dark because my cellie is still asleep. You know, with two guys living together in a bathroom, you got to figure it out so that you both have room to move. Since I need to leave out early, pretty much he stays in bed until after I'm gone. About 6:15 to 6:20, the officer that's working the unit is going to walk around. He's going to unlock the doors, he or she. And it's interesting because depending on the officer, how they do it, some are really loud, banging the keys around, banging the locks. You know, they're big keys on these big locks that can be really loud. Some officers are very intentionally quiet, and it's such a difference in the start to the day, the loud versus the quiet. You know, when it's quiet, guys can kind of ease into the day. It just seems like it's a much less stressful start to the day. Something so simple, and I'm not even sure how many of them are aware of it. I try and positively reinforce that whenever someone does it quietly, like, hey, I appreciate you doing that. It's just a much better start for all of us to the day. Now, they can either open the doors and tell everyone to wait until they've finished opening up every single door before they let us move, or most officers will just open the door, and as soon as they open it and walk on, you can come out. The reason why that, too, is kind of determining of how the early morning unfolds is because we have things like the computers where everyone's trying to get on there before they head out for the morning. There's 5 computers for roughly, 100, 110 guys on the unit. So if as they're walking around, as they open each door, guys who are coming out early are able to get out and get on the computer, it just makes things so much more smoothly instead of making everyone wait and then they'll yell clear, and it's kind of like a mad dash to get the computers. Like, it's a terrible way to start the day. So both when the keys are quiet and when they just let us go quietly about, getting started, it makes a huge difference. For me, I try and get down here. I get on the email between 6:20, 6:30, because most of the time, like, that's going to be the only time I have access to the email until between then and after dinner, based on what my schedule is now. And I'll explain that as we go on, but I try and get on there, read whatever messages came through overnight and send you a little bit of love before my day really gets going. I just think that's, a simple thing that I can do to hopefully help us both start the day in a positive way. About 6:30, 6:40, they call commissary, laundry, kitchen workers, and a rec move. that's when I head out. I work out first thing in the morning, so I head up to rec on that move. Now, there's not a lot of guys that go up, and for me, that's the draw. I'm always trying to find as much space as possible. And for me, it's not only a great way to start the day with the workout, but it's also kind of the path of least resistance. But in doing that, anybody that goes up on that rec move, you have to skip breakfast. You don't get to go to breakfast.
Oh.
That's the trade-off. Anytime they have an early rec move, you have to skip the meal, which I don't necessarily agree with.
This call is from a federal prison.
That's what it is. So, for me, I get up there, and I know I got limited time, so my workout generally begins with, I do a 1 mile run as a warm-up, and honestly, like, for me to speed walk from my unit down to recreation, it's probably about a quarter mile. That's basically my warm-up. So when I get in there, I peel off my jacket and everything, and I'm carrying my bag with all my stuff for the day in it, plus my khakis are on a hanger, and so that I can get changed after my workout. But I throw all that up, I hop on the treadmill, I get a quick mile in, I do 30 to 40 minutes of strength conditioning core work after that, hit a quick 5-minute cool down, and at 7:30 they call a general work call. Now, a general work call is basically like education, recycling, vocational shops, maintenance shops, recreation chapel, kitchen, medical, pretty much everybody. Everybody that's got a job, that's when you're going to head out to it. Now, on the housing units, they post what's called a call-out. It's printed the night before, it's posted on every unit, and it lists by your last name, and it'll have next to your name the time and place that you're supposed to be. Like, if I had to go to medical Monday, it would say, it would give the date, 8 a.m., medical, and it might even say who I'm supposed to see, like my PA's name. If you don't show up for one of those call-outs, technically, they can write you an incident report. So it's really up to us to be on it. The funny thing is, like, half the time it's not printed out, posted. So, one of us has got to be down here, like, not harassing, but reminding the officer, like, hey, man, like, we need this call out. It's got to be posted so I can figure out what I'm doing tomorrow, or especially if it's that morning and you haven't seen it yet.
Can I ask you a question?
So the call outs, yeah.
So what would be the punishment for an incident report if you don't show up someplace that you're supposed to be?
Something like that. I mean, they could take good time, which is days, literally, more days in prison.
The hole?
Yeah, you could end up in the hole. I mean, it's really discretionary. It's going to be a 300 or 400 series shot. So typically it's only going to be like a loss of commissary, loss of phone, loss of email. But I mean, as I just explained, like, these are all limited resources that we have anyways.
How?
To take those.
Yeah, and I don't even know what a 300 or 400 series or whatever series shots are. Do we want to talk about that now, or do we have enough time, or do you want to do another video?
That's probably best kept for another video where I can explain some of the penalties and maybe some of the benefits. We'll do that in another one.
Okay. All right. Sorry. So so even if it's their fault, they don't print it out, and you don't know you're supposed to be someplace, so you don't show up there, you could still technically lose good time or get some sort of not retaliation, but some sort of shot.
Absolutely. It's the reason why I haven't had my teeth cleaned in over 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I was taken off the list because supposedly I did not show up for a call out, and I have not been able to get back on since. So, yeah, 5 years without having my teeth cleaned.
Wow, that's disappointing. Okay, sorry, keep going. Your teeth are still beautiful, by the way, but go ahead.
Thank you. So, that 7:30 general work call. Then there's going to be moves throughout the morning. The morning movement here, and it's pretty much the same everywhere. It might be a different time, but they just kind of split them up. So the regular moves are going to be at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then there's a 10:30 recall.
Okay.
If you're at work or if you're in the shop, like, you're probably not even going to notice these moves unless you have to leave and go somewhere on a call out.
Okay.
For me, I'm down in the shop right now. I head over there at 7:30. I go in, I get changed, I clean up, and I'm pretty much working straight through lunch. I actually bring my breakfast over there, and I stop about 9 o'clock. That's when I eat. So I kind of eat over in the corner of the shop. In between.
This call is from a federal prison.
But everybody else, like I was saying, the moves are 8, 9. There's a 10:30 recall where pretty much everyone heads back to the housing units. Some of the job areas, like the shop where I work and a few other places, guys stay there until they call us, and we go to directly to lunch from there. But there's a 10:45 rec move from the units back out to rec. And again, those guys, if they want to go to rec, they got to skip lunch. Lunch starts about 11. They call those of us that are down in the shops, guys that are over medical, and a couple other places. They'll call us over there first to eat, and they start calling the housing units down. For me, what I've been doing pretty much this past week is heading right back over to the shop. So instead of even coming back to the housing unit, I head over to the shop, and I'm there pretty much for the rest of the afternoon. They do an afternoon work call where if, everyone does head back to the housing units, at 12 o'clock they're going to call a work call, just like they did at 7:30 in the morning, and it's also a rec move. Now, for the afternoon, the moves are going to be at 1, 2, and then there's a 3:30 recall. That 3:30 recall is pretty much everyone trying to hustle back to the unit and get whatever they need to get before they lock us in for count. For me, I try and make it back here as quickly as possible so I can hop in the shower, because we're going to be locked in for an hour. And I'm just not comfortable sitting around in, dirty clothes. I'd rather lay down. I'd rather be clean so I can lay down and hopefully catch a nap during that count. They do count about 4:15. Now, we're locked in from 3:45 till about 5 o'clock when they open. And again, then they do a rec move about 5:05, right before they start calling dinner. Anybody that wants to go down at night, same thing. They're skipping dinner to go down to rec, whether it be for basketball games or to work in the ceramic shop, to be in the band room, the game room, any of the things that guys don't have time to do during the day because they're working. About 6 o'clock, they call a move back to the unit for all the guys who went down early, and then they have a mass move of everybody who went to dinner. You get a chance to go down. That's probably the busiest time at night, especially during the winter when there's not a whole lot going on. Everybody's going to go down to rec at night, and it's just kind of a madhouse. I prefer to stay back here. For me, it's worked out well. Like, I'll come back from dinner, and about 5:30, 5:45, I'll be able to send you an email, see what came through during the day. Remember, that's the first time that I'm able to get on the email or make a phone call, do whatever, since 7:30 in the morning. So it's kind of a long day. Same thing in the evening. The moves are going to be at 6, 7. There's an 8:30 recall. Again, everybody's hustling back here, trying to hop in the shower, get cleaned up before they lock us in between 9 and 9:15. 9:30, there's a stand-up count. And for me, like 9:30 to 10:30, I'm getting cleaned up. I make breakfast for the next day. I pack my bag. I write my workout. I might get to read for a couple minutes, and then I'm out. Pretty much Monday through Friday, that's my day. They go by incredibly quick. I wish I had more time for us to talk. And that's a whole 15 minutes just that quick.
Yeah, and that just shows it. And it's interesting to me because it's like 3 hots or an activity and a cot or actually a metal slab. It's so crazy. You're gone, right? And that right there shows how fast 15 minutes go. It was actually probably closer to 13 minutes with him. I'm telling you, I'm so low energy because I had such a stressful day. It's a full moon out. And I was messing with the settings of my camera because remember the makeup on my nose looked brown the last couple of videos. It looked like I had a brown line. So I was trying to figure out how to fix the lighting and the settings on my camera right before this. And I did something. So when every time I pressed start, it would just go beep, 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 and it wouldn't start. And then I went to go fix it when he called. I gave myself like literally maybe 20 minutes between the gym and this video. So hence you have this, but that's okay. Then the camera started to fall off backwards. I dropped my computer off of the top of the dresser. Hopefully it still works. That's kind of still up in the air. I haven't even tried to turn it on and see if I did any damage, but it's one of those days, and those are the days that you just have to grasp for the positives and roll with it. Otherwise you will wind up in a deep, dark depression. Look for the silver linings, find the humor, and have fun with it. So that's what we're going to do. You guys keep staying strong, keep loving strong, keep supporting one another through this journey because you're one day closer to all being behind you. Lots of love from my heart and Adam's heart to all of yours. I'll see you beautiful ladies and gentlemen in the next one. Bye guys.